Welcome to the Health and Wellbeing Programme, and today I have a very important guest with me who's going to help me with a lifelong issue that I've had. My guest is Karam Tucker.
Hello.
Hello, Karam. Karam is director of the Confidence Clinic.
Right, that's right.
Okay, Karam, can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
Well, I have a couple of practices where I help people with issues of anxiety, weight control, anxiety management, temper management, anger management, and I also run a number of confidence building clinics where I have perhaps corporate clients come in and they have a whole workshop with me where we work on confidence issues and perhaps even confidence in the way of public speaking.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, the thing I'm interested in is phobias.
Right.
And I understand you deal with a lot of phobias and addictions.
Yes, I work with smoking cessation, people who are addicted to smoking, and spiders, fear of water, fear of heights, and many, many issues I cover in my clinics.
Okay, okay. I understand you work with cancer patients quite a lot, actually.
That's right. I work with an organisation through the NHS, people with life-limiting diseases. So when they are diagnosed with cancer, I help them go through the paces of managing the anxiety and perhaps working on positive visualization where they can access their own internal healing energies.
Yeah, so making them feel back in control of their lives.
That's right.
Yeah. That's super. Well, the thing I'm interested in is that I've had a bit of a phobia since I was a little girl.
Okay.
And I'd like you to help me with that today.
Oh, right.
So,
and what phobia is that?
well, it's a phobia of water, actually. Not just,
Right.
like not small amounts of water, like bath water or something like that.
Okay.
But, kind of like...
You're okay washing your face?
I am, yeah, I am. Yeah, no problem there. But, I mean, just as I was walking past the canal today in Birmingham here, I kind of find it slightly overwhelming.
Right. Okay.
If I'm by the seaside or even at swimming baths
Okay.
with the kids in the swimming pool, I find that kind of quite overwhelming at the beginning.
Right. Okay.
Eventually I kind of settle down a bit, but I've never learned to swim, even though I've tried many times as an adult.
Was there a time in your life when, do you recall a moment, an incident where it actually started?
Well, I do remember being at school during
okay.
swimming lessons, which were always kind of very traumatic. And I
Right.
think perhaps, a lot of children experience
Okay.
swimming lessons as
Right.
being very traumatic.
Well, I never used to like going swimming because we had to walk across some playing fields, so I used to try and miss swimming,
Yeah,
so I know what you mean.
Well, I used to create all sorts of excuses
Right.
not to go.
Okay.
But when I did go, there would always be this tremendous amount of noise. The teachers always used to be shouting.
Okay.
The kids used to be dunking each other under the
Right.
water. And
Yeah.
I do remember one boy actually ducking my head under the water, and I remember kind of gasping for breath.
Okay.
I remember that feeling kind of quite traumatic, but also then afterwards, the getting changed, and you had to get changed in a hurry and stuff like that. So it was all a very traumatic experience for me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I kind of never learned to swim.
Right.
I don't know how
Do you have images? Do you have images come up when you're thinking about large quantities of water, perhaps the seaside?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. I feel very scared. I actually feel
Okay.
that I'm going to drown.
right.
I kind of feel that the water, I'm kind of quite surprised when people are floating or people are swimming.
Okay.
Because I kind of think the water won't support me.
Okay. Very interesting.
It won't hold me up. I kind of
Okay.
feel I'll drown.
Yeah. Right. Oh, what kind of feelings do you get? Where do you find that the feeling is?
Kind of in my stomach, I guess, or in my chest, really.
Okay.
And I guess even before my kind of swimming lesson trauma, as it were, I remember being a little girl when I was a little girl in India. I must have been about 4, perhaps.
Right.
And my older sister, who was at that time about 5, about 6, and we were playing by this big, I guess it was like a river, really. And it was kind of very swollen because it had been raining.
Okay.
And it was very muddy around the edges. And we used to play there all the time,
Right.
play with the frogs and stuff like that. But that day we were by ourselves, and I remember we were playing on the banks of that river, and we kind of both slipped in.
Right.
And I managed to pull myself out very quickly.
Okay.
But I actually saw her for quite a long time struggling to come to get out of the water.
So that became a traumatic
Yeah, and she was
experience.
kind of trying to,
Okay.
and the water seemed to be pulling her in. So I
Right.
kind of had this image of the water
Okay.
kind of
It's very frightening.
being very powerful,
Okay.
and her screaming. And then luckily one of my uncles was walking along, and he came and rescued her.
Right.
But I kind of think that's kind of in my mind, really, the
Okay.
kind of the power of water.
So when you think about water, or when you have tried to swim, are those the images that were coming up? Or
I think so. I kind
right,
of think I'm
okay.
not going to...
Yeah.
I don't trust the water, really.
Okay, yeah. See, sometimes what we do, we internalise emotions. So we think about them analytically, and they go to the storage level, the subconscious level, and every so often they will play the same dialogue, consciously or unconsciously, conducting and governing us in certain ways. And then what we have to do as therapists is rearrange, go into the software, go to the subconscious level, and perhaps put in very positive notions and rearrange and take out the negative software.
Okay. So what you're saying is, somewhere in my psyche,
Right.
that those feelings and those images and those experiences have kind of become fixed, which is why I kind of can't in the present, even
Yeah.
though logically I know that the water
Yeah.
will support me, that in that irrational place, I kind of feel it won't, because
Yeah.
that part of me thinks I'm going to drown.
That's right. See, each notion starts with a thought. Now, if I asked you to go and switch that light on, you have an image in your mind. So each time you think about water, those images keep coming up, and we have to change the images into positive images.
Yes,
How do you feel
sure.
about that?
Well, anything really. You know, I mean, I don't want to kind of swim the channel or,
Right.
you know,
As long
get
as you're
into the
feeling
Olympic-
comfortable
Yeah.
in water.
Yeah,
And-
I just want to be comfortable in it. I just want to, you know, when I go on holiday, I want to be able to at least paddle out to chest deep, because I can paddle out to a certain level, and then when it kind of starts coming up here, I'm kind of a bit overwhelmed,
Right.
and I'm sharpish for the beach. You know, and my kids are in the water and having fun, and I'd like to join them, really.
Right.
So I don't want to, you know, I have no big ambitions about swimming. I just want to be able to be comfortable in water and know that, and feel safe in it.
Okay.
That I
How
can swim.
How
if
do
I
you
need
feel
to.
your breath is when you think about water? Is there a sudden change in breath, in the way that you breathe?
I think I kind of breathe in a very shallow way,
Okay.
almost like it's
Okay.
very shallow.
Yeah. So if Manjit, just take one finger and press one nostril and
Yeah.
breathe in very gently. And let out through the same nostril. And again. And now what I'd like you to do is alternate, so you're going... breathing in. It's a bit complicated. You'll get the hang of it, okay?
Like that?
You're doing great. Fantastic. Okay? Now let that go for a moment through the same nostril. And again. And now what I'd like you to do is alternate, so you're going... breathing in. It's a bit complicated. You'll get the hang of it, okay?
Like that?
You're doing great. Fantastic. Okay? Now let that go for a moment. Put your hands. Now breathe in through your nose. Hold and let out through the mouth. So, in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to start breathing in peace, tranquility, goodness. And as you breathe out the anxiety, the tension, and the limiting notions that you are holding about water. Breathing in, holding, and out. Now it's going to become a very secular, very circular motion, so it's whoosh, in, hold, and out. And as you're breathing in, You're breathing in peace, tranquility, the universe, and a beautiful array of calmness. Bring out the tension, breathing out, and let that go. So I want you to gently open your eyes again. Okay, how do you feel?
Okay.
Okay, now think about the water. Think about going swimming. Okay, where do you feel it in your stomach?
That thought's still a bit kind of...
Okay, where is it?
Very scary for me.
Where is it?
Kind of in my chest, in my stomach area.
Okay.
In my chest mainly, I think.
Okay.
In my lungs.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to be using a technique called EFT, which is short for emotional freedom